Hello. Let me test. My microphone never works as usual. Okay, it seems to work. Let me just test one thing. Okay, it seems to work. The music is too low, I guess. No, it's good. It's good. Okay. Hello, hello. How are you, folks? Hello, Mart. I never know how to pronounce her name, to be honest. How do I pronounce her name correctly? Is Mart? Mert? Can you teach me? Mert, okay. Mert, okay, second. Okay. You are from Turkey, right? You are Turkish, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Um, Today we are going to talk about Node.js 24 that should go out in 2 weeks. Let me move my screen to the correct one. We will talk about Node.js 24. Another major release of Node.js. We will check if we can jump into some of the changes to see if we can test some performance and things like that. Okay. Hello, Elvis. Hello, Damian. All right. Hello, João. I like your Magnus Carlsen picture. So, first of all, which version of Node.js are you using in production now? And which version are you using in development? Prod 22, 20, and dev 23. Very good. Very, very good. On dev, one thing you need to know is that starting last week, Node.js 23 is now on maintenance mode, which means we won't issue any further release of Node.js 23. The maintenance started at the beginning of this month. So we will only do 22 releases and 24 now. 23 will go die in 2 months. So if you are using Node.js 23, please change it. Do you know why we do that? We use 22, okay. I'm reading both chats, YouTube and Twitch. Okay. All right. So for test features in prod, not exactly. The reason we have lines which are not even being deprecated in just 6 months is because we need to issue we need to unblock the development of Node.js. Imagine that you create a pull request to Node.js which is considered as never major. If we do just one major release per year, which means that your feature will only go to Node.js next year, which will be crazy, right? You need to wait a long time, and the amount of breaking changes will be drastic, which means less people, or it will be a lot of work for companies to migrate for one version to another version, because it will contain a lot of breaking changes. If we do releases every 6 months, we reduce that risk somehow. Does that make sense? That's the graph of release. We'll update that soon, I guess, for 24. Here we go. So Node.js 18 is still on maintenance, and it's a LTS release line, so we keep it for a long period of time. The same applies to 20, 22, and it will apply for 24. 23 started maintenance mode, and in 2 months it will be end of life, which means even security releases won't go to Node.js 23. So if you are using Node.js 23, please consider downgrading it to 22. All right. So I think we can start talking about Node.js 24. I have just updated the Node.js, the changelog, so we can go to that and talk about it. Okay? It should be released in 2 weeks, but we are waiting for a new update of V8 to the version 13.4. It's been a pain. I'm not working on that, but Michael and other folks are working on that. And we have some SmartOS failures, we have some specific environment failures, and we might decide to either release Node.js 24 without those binaries, or we delay the Node.js 24 release. We are still discussing that. Okay. We are excited to announce the release of Node.js 24. Highlights include updating V8 to 13.4. And we might also upgrade the V8 to 13.8, which is a different version. Let me see if I can show the new features of that version. Upcoming Node.js major release. If you see my screen freezing a bit, it's because I'm building the new version of Node.js here, but it might take a long time, so I will cancel that. We can do it later. Right. This is the Node.js 24. This is the V8 update, and this is the release plan. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I believe that we will have another version coming out on yeah, well, I need to check it. V8 engine, maybe here. Yes, I think .6 is the correct one. Yeah. This new version of V8 includes regex.escape, which you will see later, float 16 array, atomics.pose, WebAssembly memory 64, explicit resource management, and error is error. That's crazy. Let's continue and then we go to the V8 features, okay? We are also upgrading NPM to the version 11, but I believe that's still that's already available on Node.js 23, right? No, that's correct. Let me check. Yeah, Node.js NPM 11 on Node.js 24. Okay. Because it might contain some breaking changes. We are making async local storage use of async context frame by default, exposing URL pattern as global, and many more improvements. I think maybe I will need to remove that from the highlights because for those that are not aware or doesn't make use of Node.js internals, this is useless. Not useless. They will experience some performance improvement, but you don't know what is this, right? So no need to mention. As a reminder, Node.js 24 will enter long-term support LTS in October, but until then, it will be the current release for the next 6 months. We encourage you to explore the new features and benefits offered by this latest release and evaluate their potential impact on your applications. Error had a lot of hype. Yeah, that's correct. Hello, Victor. How are you? Okay. On 13.4, we have atomics.pose, new API. We will see that later. Support for 64-bit memory in WebAssembly. I don't make use of WebAssembly nowadays, but I think that's interesting. This is new for me. And error is an error. Then we go to NPM 11.0. Several improvements and new features. Let me see exactly what are the new features. Well, okay, breaking change list. NPM now supports Node.js. Okay, so if you use Node.js 18, you won't be able to use NPM 11. I don't know if you install NPM alone, but you shouldn't. Upon published, in order to apply the default latest this tag, the command now retrieves all prior versions of this package. Okay, that's expected. When publishing a package with a pre-release version, you must specify a tag. Okay. npm init now has a type prompt. npm hook command has been removed. I don't know if you all make use of that, but I don't. Ban. Oh, ignore script now applies to all lifecycle scripts, including prepare. That's good. That's for security measurements. That's good. Amazing. Not too much, to be honest. Okay. Okay. Async local storage default to async context frame. I don't think we need to talk about it. URL pattern as global. This is web spec, so you can check on MDN. I don't know if you make use of it. Basically, some of your libraries might use it, but no need to talk about it today. Permission model improvements. The experimental permission model introduced on Node.js 20 has been improved, and the flag has been changed from experimental permission to simply permission. And that's not experimental anymore. That's considered stable. So it was made. Test runner enhancements. The test runner module now automatically waits for sub-tasks to finish, eliminating the need to manually await test promises. This makes writing tests more intuitive and reduce common error related to unhandled promises. Okay, you can check in details in the pull request. Unity version 7, that's great. I need to check the breaking changes of Unity, but okay, that's great. And several deprecations and removals. We have a runtime deprecated URL.parse. I know that a lot of people make use of it, and they will be affected. URL parse code. Oh, it seems that Golang has the same pattern, so let me filter that. Can I sort by stars or something? Maybe I need to use the advanced search. Let's check. Repository. Oh, okay. How many stars? Let's get one above 1,000. And in these repositories, many stars, writing in JavaScript. Oh, no. JavaScript. Any license in this path with this file name, issue options. URL.parse. Code. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Right, moving on. Removal of F. I think I need to remove that. Let me double check, because don't land on 24. I need to remove that. So we can do that. Let's do it now. Changelog 24. Let me increase the font size. This commit shouldn't land on Node.js 24. And I need, it's because it should go to Node.js 25, okay? So I will remove fs. This one I remove from here. And I should also remove from from the deprecations, which is here. Great. I think I can commit that. I don't want that. Okay, I was building this. That's fine. Let me reset the branch. Okay, let me do things again. this. Oh, runtime deprecate. And this one is remove. Yeah, that's correct. Damian, how are dependencies for Node.js core managed? Are there mechanisms similar to log files? Are updates handled manually or automatically? Good question. We handle Node.js dependencies updates automatically. We wrote a script. I can show you in a minute. Let me just commit that again. Okay. I need to remove from here as well. Okay, let me show you. These are all Node.js dependencies on Node.js 23. Let me see, just to confirm which version. Oh, the version should be on top. 20. Let's use 23. 23. These are the dependencies of Node.js. Some of them we need to update kind of manually, like V8, because of breaking changes. But if you go to Node.js workflows, we have one which is called updater. We have an automatic update for OpenSSL V8. They are handled differently, but we have also a script here that runs once per week and update the. Let me find it, updater. Yes, dep updaters. We have like a kind of a shell script for. We have a shell script for every dependency Node.js has, so it gets updated automatically, and we do some checks on the tarball and things like that. Okay, so moving on. Oh, I need to update the pull request description to not mention the. Okay, not this. This one. We have removal of deprecated TL create secure pair, a runtime deprecation of a slow buffer, runtime deprecation of instantiating REPL without new, deprecation of using zlib classes without new. Most of these things won't affect you, okay? We have some important things, which is we have dropped support for PPC 32 bits. I think we don't build it anyway, so we don't have binaries for that. We just remove the build, I guess. Let me see if there are something. I need to remove these again. Yeah, not too much. Amazing. It will be a fun release. And let's talk about the V8 features. We have atomic pause, and error is error. Atomic pause adds atomic code method to hint the CPU that current code is executing spin lock. Let me see an example. Okay, I think this is just the specification, right? This is the spec, the draft. We can see some example of atomic pause somewhere. Uh, the atomic pulse static method provides a micro-weight primitive that hints to the CPU that Scholar is spinning while waiting on access to a shared resource. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was. Mm, okay, that's okay. I don't see much usage on a regular web application, possibly none, unless you are doing some interesting stuff. The next one is WebAssembly Memory 64. This is just to add support to memory for 64-bit, which is not too much to talk about. Then we have explicit resource management, which seems something interesting. I need to. I think this might be the same performance resource management. Okay. Let me read the proposal. This proposal intends to address a common pattern in software development regarding the lifetime and management of various resources, memory, I/O, etc. This pattern generally includes the allocation of resources and the ability to explicitly release critical resources. For example, ECMAScript generator functions and async generator function expose this pattern through return method and a means to explicitly evaluate finally blocks to ensure user-defined cleanup logic is preserved. So we have sync generators here. Acquire this is a critical resource, and we need to have a cleanup. Okay. G, object next, finally object return, which is this thing. Yeah, that will help a lot. It's still an uncommon usage. I mean, I've used sync generators a lot, to be honest. When you manage strings, that's very common. But usually you consume the string until the end. So as such, we propose the adoption of a novel syntax to simplify this common pattern. Using handle. Okay. So you don't need to call the dot return anymore. So using object G. And then when the scope ends, it will call finally on blocks in G. That's very cool. That's very cool. Did you get the idea? Do you understand that? Basically, to make sure that you call the finally to clean up the logic in your case, for instance, either to close a string or to read a file to the end or just close the file descriptor. Normally, you have this try finally and await in the end. But if you if something happens here and you don't call the dot return, something will be leaked, right? The string will not close and it might prevent your software to exit and things like that. Now we'll have like a kind of guard that when it ends the scope, the handle will automatically calls the finally block. Still doesn't looks like JavaScript, right? But very cool, amazing. And it will go to the Node.js 24. Amazing. And then we have error is error. That that was a different idea. Normally we check with instance of, right? Rationally, I brought up concerns to the committee about symbol to string tag and how previous reliable and unspoofable object to string calls would no longer be reliable. Yeah. However, the internal slots for error instances and its subclasses is only checked in object to string itself, leaving no possible reliable test in a word with to string tag. Instance of error, which I said, of course, is unreliable because it will provide a false negative with cross-helm. Example, for an iframe or node VM module. Oh, okay, got it. Got it. Can we test it? I received a message, I guess. No. Okay. Error is error. It should be simple, right? Okay. Yeah, it go out. I wonder if already have that. Maybe not yet, on at least on my version. Or maybe it's in the instance. No. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. So I have built Node.js 24 locally. Node. Oh, I reset that. I need to do that again. Okay. Meanwhile, I plan to do some benchmarking. We don't have the V8 update on that branch yet. So if you expect to see some JavaScript improvements, the binary won't show you yet. Okay, on the .6 we'll have two new features, which is regex escape and float 16 array. Regex escape is a static method that takes a string and returns a escaped version. Okay, that's good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, handy one, like that. And this one is just a float 16 array. I don't remember exactly why it was not in the first draft, because I remember I need that for some time ago. Have you heard of Mateo's experiment with building something like node cluster on top of worker threads? Yes. He calls it T-ball. Not sure he spent much time on it recently, but looks promising. Let me check. I'm Colina, right? What is the name? It's T-ball. Maybe it's on Platformatic. Maybe it is. Platformatic. Where is that? Where is the okay? Nope. Do you have the with okay 1L? Here we go. I love the documentation. What's the idea? Maybe let me check. I need to clone that. It's better. Okay, we have node 24 here. Cool. I think we can test, or can we? I think we can with IB. Yes, I think we can. Yes, we can do some tests. 4. Yeah, I don't care this. Okay, T-ball. Too much. It returns an API. T-ball start. Close. Do you have more context on this? Get the file descriptor. Test will show you some context, okay? The main idea is to pass a file descriptor and let Node.js balance it. Yeah, so he's doing it for platformatic, definitely. Why a file descriptor? Shouldn't it be a process? Let me check the test. I need to read the test, I guess. Spawn 2 threads. Control, worker 1, worker 2. I create the worker. It just counts the amount of message. We add the worker to a pool, maybe. Promises. Okay. Localhost. So it should have some setup, huh? Okay. Maybe the main created the server. Yeah, it does create the server. You get the address here. And then you diagnostic it. We create a worker, parent port, command request, T-ball listing. Hmm. Okay. It started listening based on the command. Um, Main thread creates file descriptor, passes it to the worker. Um, yes, and workers then should create a server with file descriptor. It's like scaling horizontally in the same machine. I can test it with something new. Let me test one thing here. On the worker, new worker. Oh, this is on test. Maybe on the experiments we will see the point. We have a single and we have a worker. We start listening the server on, okay. Okay. Okay, okay, got it. This is like, people usually do that nowadays. They do create worker threads. They do create a cluster based on CPU utilization, or cores of a machine. But looks like this package is doing that dynamically and based on requests and not CPU. CPU, yes, based on requests only. So what we can do here is to create a name worker. Okay. We have the control. Yeah, I think that should work. Let's check. Node experiments a worker. Maybe main. Yeah. Then we filter for custom. Yeah, this is creating two workers. Custom worker 1, 2, and 3. And I'm not even sending messages. Let me check one thing here. Port 3000. So node main. We have that. Now we can custom simple HTTP request, localhost. Let me use WRK. A 120 seconds is too much. The results won't be reliable because we are in a call. Give me 1 minute. Need to go to the bath. Okay, I'm back. Um, okay. And maybe, right. Now I believe the idea is to have a single, right? Yeah. And do the same experiment. People already do that, but you are doing it. I think the point is that he's balancing the requests um, using. I just need to. It's almost the same amount, but in any way, we shouldn't rely on the result because doing live streams, a lot of things can happen. Um, um, yeah, it doesn't create a server, right? It just start listening to that file descriptor. I think it's not working on all platforms. I believe Linux, it should be working. But yeah, I'll talk with Mateo. He's quite busy, I guess, this week, but I'll talk with him. The idea is cool. I have just a feeling that, at least in my experiments, most of the times delegating the responsibility for load balancing the requests to load balancer, a kind of Nginx, and never use PM2, please. It's better. Um, Most because of caching and things like that. But that should work. I don't play with APIs for a long time, so things might have changed. But cool, that's cool. I like it. I was running a benchmark and I just want to know what happened. 23.0. Artifact name is valid. Artifact with this name already exists on the workflow run. Okay. Okay, summary. But why this is creating two artifacts? We already have that. Yes. But at the time of live encoding it, Mateo got like 3 or 4x improvements. Oh. That's... it's because you are not... if you are doing the comparison locally in a single process, obviously it will be faster, right? Because you are creating multiple processes and you are doing the load balancing locally. What I'm trying to say is that locally it might show improvements, but the realistic benchmark is comparing that with a real load balancing on, let's say, Kubernetes with Nginx on top, and then you have your version with this package. Then you have like apple to apple comparison instead of like these kind of measurements. It seems like apple to oranges, they are not the same, right? Obviously, the delegating it to multiple processes will be faster, especially when we are dealing with a single request. But the idea of listening to a file descriptor in different processes is good, because the usual approach is you get the response and then you delegate, you get the request and then you delegate it to other worker threads. But the cost of sending the request to another worker thread is costly. And when you do it this way, listening to the file descriptor, it basically you cut that part and you just receive on the worker thread directly or in the process directly. How much of the resource are we able to save with workers versus a separate process? I think it really depends on how much, because when you create a new I need to remember one thing. I think that when you create a worker thread, you have a new isolate, and then but you use a shared memory, right? And when you create a new process, you need to spin up, or you need to allocate a new block of memory to that process. In terms of numbers, I don't know. We need to measure that. Usually, I would say 30%, but I don't have numbers to show you, so don't trust on that. Fahu? Hey, bro. Node.js also JavaScript can't be multi-threaded by default, except worker thread. It's very difficult to be like multi-threaded languages by default. Well, Node.js does have threads. Node.js has many threads, actually. If you spin up a Node.js process and you monitor the amount of threads, you see a lot. You see 10, I guess. Most of people doesn't make use of multi-threads on Node.js, especially creating worker threads and delegating things, because it doesn't make sense considering Node.js. All of your callbacks and your JavaScript code will run in a single thread. In some circumstances, you need to get back to the main thread, and the cost of the round trip is not worth it. But definitely, you can use worker thread as any other language. If you create a thread in C, it will be almost the same as creating a worker thread in Node.js. Just wanted to know, is it significant at all? I believe that it's significant, yes. I'm certain that this is significant. I mean, anything above 10% is significant in my opinion. Especially when you think about like scaling the process, scaling it to multiple requests and things like that. There is one thing that I remember I was using in C++, is called fiber threads. Fiber. Let me see if I'm pronouncing it correct. Yes, it's a lightweight thread execution. This is way cheaper than process. And way it's cheaper than a regular thread, because they share the address space. Because when you create a thread, you need also to allocate a space in the stack for the thread execution, right? So. And also, when you want to communicate a process with a thread, it's way cheaper when you want to communicate a process with another process, because then you need to use a kind of inter-process communication, which is expensive than just memory sharing between a process and a thread. Last time I forgot the YouTube. In which cases should I rebuild Node.js? Should I rebuild it if it changed only JS code? You mean the Node.js core? That's a good question. I have a short about that. Let me see if I can find it. Shorts. How to build Node.js fast. I'm going to send you in the chat. Damien, please watch it. I think it will answer your question. Fahu, which IDE, which code editor is this? I use Nelvin. I use VI. Actually, yeah. I'm using Nelvin 0.10.0.11 dev, and I need to update that, I'm sure. Last time I tested inter-process communication versus inter-thread, I've got like 2 times difference in amount of message. But it was a dummy test sending message back and forth. Yes, but I believe that number is correct. Of course, it really depends on your machine, hardware, and stuff like that. There are ways to make it faster, the inter-process communication. Basically, Perf does it very well. eBPF does it very well. Kind of shared memory. There's one thing called perf ring buffer. I think by image is better. This the idea. eBPF also does it, but perf does it very well. And this approach, I've seen people using that for inter-process communication. Yes, that's for eBPF. Basically, you have when you have like a constant read and write, you write it to a shared memory, but you don't need to write locks to it, because most of the cost between threads is mutexes that block the thread execution, and then you have like an idle time, and if you don't have mutexes, you have deadlock. And a good idea for that is to use ring buffer. You have a write pointer, you have a read pointer in a block of memory. And then while the write pointer just increases, the read pointer also increases. And if it gets a turn, if you have a constant read and write, it will work fine. If you have just write, it will override the previous memory. But the idea of that works well, and I have seen people using that for inter-process communication. But it's like a really specific use case. I don't think it applies to any use case, especially for Node.js. I don't know if it will apply very well, but shared memory is definitely a good thing. I just don't know if it will be faster at all. I mean, definitely it will be faster. The thing is, you need to deal with eventual deadlocks, and that will be a nightmare, I think. And then if you implement things like ring buffers, this might work. I just don't understand why. Reliability is the cost. That's why all of the good guys recommend just scale by process. Yes, it's not just about reliability. It's just about it's more about maintenance, right? If you don't have, if you imagine that you also scale the company, it's it's hard to find people with that specific knowledge, and even for those that knows a bit of that, it's hard to debug, right? Threads, mutaxes, deadlocks, they are very hard to debug because even you need to read long stack traces, and you need to imagine things that happened, and in most of the time you don't have a time travel tool to go back and see what really happened. I remember someone wrote a time travel debugging for C++. I think it was this one. I think it was this one. And it showcased how hard it is. And when you consider that C++ is quite old and you still don't have enough tool to debug that, if you go to the JavaScript land, it's even worse. So, I mean, definitely you can. You will be disruptive. The thing is, you need to put in a balance. You need to get money, or you need to do something interesting. It's a trade-off. What's the best resource to learn C++? I might not be the best person to answer that. I mean, I know C++, I code a lot in C++, I love it, but C++ changes every day, every year. I mean, if you read a book, you see C++ 98 most of the time. And since C++ 11, a lot of things has changed. So I believe if you just find a good book on C++, a recent C++ book, that should be enough. We have plenty of material. I need to update the download artifact. So let me just get back to one thing. Git log one line. I will need to revert. Let me git rebase a had 3. No, this shouldn't be here. As I remember, you tried to build Node.js before my interruption. I did the build. It's working. I have Node.js 24 here. We can do what I'm trying to do here is to I have this repository called Node.js bench operations, and I'm trying to fix the workflows because GitHub Actions has changed, and the actions download and upload artifact are not working well in the latest version, and the previous version is not working anymore. So I'm trying to fix that shit. Cool. So here I need to git show head. I will need to apply the pull request again. Let me it was this one. Okay. Let me see if that solves the problem. Otherwise, I can run locally, but we can't trust the results. Run benchmark. You run it on main. Let's run it for error. I want to measure 22 with 23. 2310. That should work. Let me check. Meanwhile, I think we can do the following. We have, I wrote a tool that runs your benchmark in a dedicated machine. And I hope that still works. So Apple's OS Node.js bench operations. Let's get one that I believe, let's look to the changelog just to see if we have something that might have changed. We have this is test runner, this is source. Just, okay, we might have something on file system, maybe. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, what I can do is do the following. I have the script here. This one. Let me get the Semver minor one just to see if 23, 24x. Let me see what has changed. I think I need to update git remote, update upstream. Yeah, nothing that will change the performance. Maybe we have that on branch.js. Let me check. Okay, we have a better visualization. Updates to Ondichi, we have yeah, not too much, but we can test anyway. Let's get one test here that looks interesting. I would say maybe no. Let's use the parse int just for example. Let me add that, and I think I did. Oh no, I think I did this way. It will create the benchmark file for me. And then we can run it with IB agent. Yes. The binary, it will use Node.js. I need to use a custom version of Node.js. Okay, I can do it with one code that doesn't need a bench node, which I think is a time-sensitive one. Array creation. No, most of them requires console time and yeah. Yeah, I think that won't be possible because I will need to jump into the machine and install things. Or maybe that should work. Let me check one thing. IB agent. Here I will do npm ig bench node CLI and node. I don't think it will work. Okay, it might take some time. In any case, I think I can run it locally. We have node, which is node v4, and we have node, which is node 20. Let's use 22. Oh, let's use 22 for reference. Node bench error. Yeah, of course. Hello, native syntax. Natives? Yeah. And then we have a node. Same thing. But a lot of variation because of the live stream. Remote output is empty. Yeah, didn't work. One thing we can I need to do now is to I need to issue a Node.js 22 release. I'm working on that right here. We have a new automation which is called Git node staging that make the Node.js staging branch up to date. And one common problem is that some pull requests don't land cleanly. And then I need to ask for a backport, which is what I'm doing here. So I need to continue that, but I don't know where I stopped. So if you have any questions about anything else, please keep sharing it on YouTube and Twitch while I'm doing this work. I'm saying it to myself. That's so weird. Um, have you tried digging into alternative benchmark libs like Metadata? Does it have any flaws that Bench Node doesn't? I did. Yes, we did a long research on available tools out there. I remember that it was included on. It was included right here. Let me check one thing. Author benchmark. Sort by most commented. This one. I think Vinicius showed the table of comparison. Yes, we have compared with Dino, Metadata, Is It Fast, Benchmark.js, Chronometer, TimeBench, and the built-in. It was not measuring iterations per time, we believe that it's very important. It was not measuring the standard deviation. And also, it was not compiling the benchmark. It was not supporting the V8 native syntax. Okay. The thing was, the idea of bench node is not like a normal benchmark tool. The idea is that you can measure apple with apple without V8, without the just-in-time compilation affecting your results. That's why we use. That's why we wrote this section. We have never optimized function, just because of that. I have plans to write to have a video about that. I just okay. Switching back. Gate all. Okay. I could write a script for that, but it might take more time than just doing it manually. What the fuck? Okay. Let me do that. Down. What? I don't need to ask for that. Wait, am I asking the... Yes, am I? I think it's here where I stopped, right? Make error handling, yes. I think it's here. Never ends. What? This. Oh, they are... Don't land. Okay. Okay, I think this is just a bug in the tool. Okay, yeah, looks good. I need to update the tools. Okay, once it's done, git log. Let me just confirm git log. git push upstream 22 staging. Okay. Cool. Now we can create a new release for 22. And now this is very easy. Create release proposal 22. And I'm planning to release that next week. We are 11. We go to 15. 2025. 04 15. Yes. Let me check if this will work. I run something. Okay, this and this didn't work. So weird. I need to double check it later. Let me check if the action is working. Still running. No way. What? But it's too long. Okay, I need to do that manually. Come on, let's do it. I need to cut the body by for the request file. Okay. Let me do that manually. Okay, let's do a Node.js proposal. Let me just check one thing because it looks like my live stream is breaking something. Is that working well for you? Can you hear me well? Because my return is not working. So let me create the 22. Let me see. On Twitch, everything is okay. Okay, thank you. 14. We 15. I have an idea for you if you want to contribute to Node.js. This would be very helpful, actually. We have the following action, actions, create release proposal. I'm going to send in the chat on Twitch and also on YouTube. Basically, what you need to do here. This action is the actions that create the release proposals for Node.js. As you can see here, we do all the steps here. And one thing we do is that we fetch the body based on the changelog. So if you go to, for instance, Node.js 24, you see that we have changelog v24. And basically this command is basically getting all the content after the link until the next link, which is the end, and sending it as a pull request body when creating the pull request. But in some circumstances, like Node.js 22, which took a long time to be released again, we have a lot of commits, and the amount of commits exceed the GitHub API. As you can see here, the error says body is too long. Maximum is 65,536. So one thing you can do is you go to this temp body and you check if the amount of if the length is greater than the maximum, the limit of GitHub API. If so, we default that to the release date only. We don't need the commit list anymore, just the release date, and that should be enough. If you can do that, that would be great, and I would be happy to approve your request. Eu uso, né, Elvin? Okay. I need to double check this later. Let me prepare Node.js 22. Set the maximum value again. Yes, I can do it. maximum is that the amount of socket? Is, yeah, one more. Good memory. Yeah, I don't know why, but everything that starts with 65,000, remember the TCP socket limitation. Yes. These will take a long time to load, I guess. It's a lot of commits. V22X. Oh yeah, they have the same validation on the UI, of course. We have a good stuff here. Second, okay. This is things I wrote. 7 3 participants. Cool. Yeah, I forgot one thing. I'll try to create a pull request. Good one, Damien. Release, no meta. Okay. Looks good to me. Node.js 22 release. I need to double check if the pull request that should be there is there. That's it from my side, I guess, for today. I have a few private stuff to do that I can't live stream because they are for security. And also, it's Friday, right? It's Friday, 6 p.m. almost in my time zone. So I believe that anything that I code now will crash. I have this feeling. Do you have any other question about anything? Um, as usual, I will find someone working with Node.js to gank, to raid. But I don't think someone is doing that, unfortunately. Do you know someone that is doing Node.js? Maybe JavaScript? Maybe JavaScript. By the way, I'm deploying on Friday. Ooh, okay. Look on you. By the way, do you have any suggestion of someone that do live streams on focusing on Node.js? I might want to ping them just to get some thoughts, things that people like, because most of the Node.js core stuff, they require some knowledge, and it's hard for people to jump into the live stream and understand what we are talking about, right? So it's hard to grow. So if you know someone that does live streams for Node.js, send in the chat. I'm happy to start following. I'm looking to the YouTube. Oh, I had almost 2 hours. Usually I do 1 hour of live stream. This time it was great. We did a lot of stuff, and I could conciliate my work with the stuff. All right. That's it, folks. Thank you for joining. Hope to see you in the next session. Let me just double check if we have next session. Yes, Friday 18, we'll have a next session. If you have any question about Node.js development and any other interesting question that we could do some experiment like inter-process communications versus thread communication, we can do something interesting together. Okay? Bye-bye. Thank you.